Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will discuss about measles virus and mumps virus. So first, measles virus. Before starting measles virus, I want to mention that measles virus and mumps virus both are the member of paramyxovirus family, and therefore they share common properties. Now come to measles virus. Property. It is a paramyxovirus, so it has fusion protein, and as it has fusion protein, it can make multinucleated giant cell. The genome is single-stranded RNA of negative polarity, which is non-segmented. The virus contains RNA polymerase enzyme. The viral nucleocapsid is helical. It has an lipoprotein envelope. Measles virus has only one serotype, therefore it provides lifelong immunity. In the envelope, the hemagglutinin and neuraminidase are in the same spike and fusion protein is in the different spike. The antibody against hemagglutinin is neutralizing antibody, so it provides us immunity. Now come to the replication cycle. The virus binds with the cell surface via its hemagglutinin. Then the virus penetrates and uncoats, and the virion RNA polymerase transcribes the negative strand genome into mRNA. The messenger RNA is the positive sense. Now, multiple mRNA are synthesized, each of which is translated into specific viral proteins. The helical nucleocapsid is assembled. The matrix protein mediates the interaction between the envelope and the nucleocapsid, and finally the virus is released by budding from the cell membrane. And when it is released by budding, it acquires the envelope from the cell membrane of the host cell. Now come to the transmission. It is transmitted by airborne respiratory droplets. In case of malnourished children, for example, with vitamin A deficiency, severe complications may occur. And in case where the cell-mediated immunity is decreased, for example, in AIDS patients, the measles virus infection has a serious complication and severe sequelae. Now come to the pathogenesis. Transmission through respiratory tract, local multiplication at the site of entry, spread to regional lymph node and lymphoid tissue and multiply there, thus occurs primary viremia. Then replicates in the cells of reticuloendothelial system. Secondary viremia may be carried by lymphocyte, spread to skin, respiratory tract, conjunctiva and focal replication, formation of multinucleated giant cell and intranuclear inclusion body. The rash is due to our cytotoxic T cell, that is the CD8 positive T cell, attack measles virus infected vascular endothelial cells in the skin. Immunity. I have already told you that it has only one serotype, so it provides lifelong immunity. Maternal immunoglobulin G is passed through the placenta and provides protection to the infant up to the first 6 months. In case of measles virus infection, our cell-mediated immunity against certain bacteria is decreased. For example, cell-mediated immunity against Mycobacterium tuberculosis is diminished. Therefore, a false positive purified protein derivative Mycobacterium tuberculosis skin test will be negative, false negative. There may be reactivation of the Mycobacterium tuberculosis and clinical disease may occur. Measles virus binds on the CD46 receptor on the surface of macrophage. Thus, it reduces the production of interleukin 12. We know interleukin 12 is an important inducer of cell mediated immunity. As in measles virus infection, interleukin 12 is decreased, so cell mediated immunity is also diminished. Now come to the clinical features. The incubation period of measles virus is 10 to 14 days. It is followed by a prodromal period in which there is fever, conjunctivitis, running nose, and coughing. Then there is a Koplik spot on the buccal mucosa opposite the second molar tooth. According to Lynch review, the Koplik spot is a red spot with a central white dot. But in other books, it says that small Koplik spot is a small bluish white ulceration on buccal mucosa contains the giant cell and viral antigen. After the prodromal phase, it is followed by maculopapular rash, which first appears on the face and then gradually it goes down to the lower extremities and finally to the palms and soles. The fever appears on the 10th day of measles virus infection. The Koplik spot appears on the 12th day. The Koplik spot is the diagnostic criteria of measles virus infection. The rash appears on the 14th day. The rash is light pink discrete. This light pink discrete maculopapular rash after several days turns into brownish color. Then we will discuss about the complication of measles virus. The complication of measles virus infection is mainly in our country two, that is the primary measles, that is the measles virus associated pneumonia and measles associated diarrhea. Then some secondary bacterial infection, which includes secondary bacterial pneumonia and bacterial otitis media. The most severe complication is acute encephalitis, which has a mortality rate of 10%. Other complications include deafness and mental retardation, which is the 40%, which includes the 40% of the complications. There is another complication which is known as subacute sclerosing panencephalitis. It is a post-infectious encephalitis involving the central nervous system. It is a rare and fatal condition that involves the CNS after several years, which may be 5 to 15 years. So, 5 to 15 years after a case of measles, progressive mental retardation, involuntary movement, muscular rigidity, and finally coma occurs. All these include the subacute sclerosing panencephalitis. In case of this condition, measles antibody in cerebrospinal fluid and serum is increased. Defective measles virus in brain cell may be found. So measles virus infection in case of pregnant woman, if a pregnant woman is infected with measles virus, then she will give birth to a stillborn child. So stillbirth. So complications with measles virus is more than rubella virus in case of pregnant woman, because if a pregnant woman is infected with rubella virus, she will give birth to a child, but the child would have congenital anomalies. But measles virus is more severe and more dangerous, therefore she will give birth to a stillborn child. There's another term, that is atypical measles. Atypical measles occurs in case of adults. After giving killed vaccine of measles, the adult may sometimes show atypical measles. This is atypical because they don't have the diagnostic criteria of measles, that is the Koplik spot. At present, nowadays, we don't usually give the killed vaccine. Now we give the live attenuated vaccine. Therefore, if a person is infected with gives the clinical syndrome of atypical measles, he must be adult. Lab diagnosis, mainly it's clinical diagnosis. Others include culture and isolation, serological diagnosis, and PCR. So for culture, for culture and isolation, sample should be the nasopharyngeal swab and blood. And the time during the febrile period should be the time for the collection of sample. The cell line is monkey or human kidney cell. The detection is made by multinucleated giant cell with inclusion body and immunofluorescence assay to detect antigen. The serological test includes a fourfold or greater rise of antibody titer, specific IgM antibody between 1 and 2 weeks after the onset of rash. The method is by ELISA or heme agglutination inhibition or neutralizing test. And we can detect the RNA of the virus by RT-PCR. Prevention is by live attenuated vaccine, which is given subcutaneously. It may be monovalent or it may be combined. The combined vaccine includes MMR, that is measles, mumps, rubella vaccine. The first dose should be at the age of 15 months, then 2 booster dose. The first booster dose at 6 years, that is the first day of school, and the second booster dose first day at college, that is the onset of adult age. The MMR vaccine should not be given before the age of 15 months because we know that through the placenta the child gets the maternal antibody. So if we give the live attenuated vaccine before 15 months, it will be neutralized by maternal antibody. So these are all about the measles. Now we will discuss about mumps. The mumps virus is also a paramyxovirus family, is a virus of paramyxovirus family. The properties of mumps virus is as same as the measles virus. The disease caused by mumps virus is salivary gland swelling. Transmission same as measles virus by droplet, airborne droplet. Pathogenesis. Its replication cycle is same as the measles virus. Pathogenesis, it first affects the cells of the upper respiratory tract. Then via blood, it goes to the salivary gland. It has predilection for parotid gland, testes, ovaries, pancreas, and in some cases meninges. Or the virus may ascend from the buccal mucosa up to the Stensen's duct to the parotid gland. The immunity to mumps virus. Mumps virus has only one serotype. So therefore, if someone is affected by mumps virus, it will provide him lifelong immunity. Maternal immunoglobulin G passes through the placenta from the mother to the child and gives protection up to 6 months after birth. Neutralizing antibody is produced against heme agglutinin protein. Clinical feature. The mumps virus has an incubation period of 18 to 21 days. So we can see that the incubation period is variable and the patient may remain asymptomatic and can spread the disease. The chance of communicability is 6 days before to 1 week after the onset of the symptom. The incubation period of 18 to 21 days is followed by a prodromal period which is characterized by fever, malaise and anorexia. Then it follows tender swelling of the parotid gland or salivary gland, either unilateral or bilateral. We should mention that the tenderness or pain increases. The pain increases after drinking citrus juice because after drinking citrus juice, the salivary secretion is increased, and as the swelling obstructs the duct, so it gives pressure on the gland and causes pain. The swelling of mumps resolves within 1 week spontaneously. Complication. There are two main complications. Number one is orchitis in post-pubertal males, and number two is aseptic meningitis. In case of bilateral orchitis, it may lead to sterility because the postpubertal males have fibrous tunica albuginea, which resists expansion, thereby causing pressure necrosis of the spermatocytes. So bilateral orchitis may lead to pressure necrosis of the sperm and may lead to sterility, but unilateral orchitis never leads to sterility. Other rare complications may include deafness, meningoencephalitis, ophoritis, and pancreatitis. Lab diagnosis, mainly it is clinically diagnosed, but others include isolation and identification of the virus. The sample should be saliva, CSF, and urine. Urine should be up to 2 weeks as sample. Cell line is monkey kidney cell or shell vial culture gives rapid detection, and detection is by observing cytopathic effect or heme adsorption and heme agglutination inhibition test. Serology is also important for diagnosis a specific IgM or IgG antibody and a fourfold rise of antibody between two paired of serum. Method is by ELISA or heme agglutination inhibition. There is no treatment. Prevention is by a live attenuated vaccine. The vaccine may be monovalent or it may be combined, which includes mumps rubella vaccine or measles mumps rubella vaccine. First dose should be at the age of 15th month and then booster dose after 4 to 6 years. The target population are children over 1 year and adolescents and adult without history of mumps parotitis. So measles vaccine and mumps vaccine both are live attenuated vaccine. So they should never be given to person who have decreased cell mediated immunity, that is who are immunocompromised or pregnant women, because the vaccine may revert to infection, and in case of a pregnant lady it may cause disease of the fetus. And that's all about measles and mumps. Thank you.